Hello, friends. Hi, how are we today? I hope you're all doing well. I'm here for the week of February oh my goodness, 20th through the 26th, and I am using the Bundle Up kit from the Prairie Planner. I thought it was the perfect kit for the week at my cabin, and actually the perfect kit to end our last full week in February. I am very excited that I am able to bring this to you this week. It was an eventful week, although not a lot got marked down into my planner. So essentially what had happened was I had mentioned this in my last plan with me, and I will link it absolutely in the iCard, but my kiddo got sick. And I've been mentioning for the last couple of plan with me's that like he had started to get sick or whatever, but this was like a triple whammy. So not only did he have like the worst cold imaginable, he had a double ear infection, a second one in 2 weeks, and then he subsequently got an eye infection. It was horrendous. If you are a parent and you have ever had a sick child, it's like I've never and he's been sick a lot. Like he's had hand, foot, and mouth, and he's had all of the little viruses and norovirus and everything that goes around. Like you get used to kids sick. This was like nothing I've ever seen. And like when my kid is sick, he's not like he doesn't like lose his mind or anything. It's just he usually is lower, not low, but lower energy. This was like just no energy whatsoever. I couldn't get over it. And I was really, really scared. And my mom, who had just broken her leg, just had surgery, had decided that that was the best. And my mom's a doctor, I should say that. So she decided that was the best time to go to the Bahamas, because what else was she going to be doing? She was either lie at home or she could go lie on the beach in Bahamas. So I'm like frantically FaceTiming her, being like, you need to call in a prescription. I can't get a hold of my dog. Oh God, it was such a nightmare. But she was so kind and walking me through the whole thing. And all of this took place while we were up at the cabin. Now, the thing about being up at the cabin was that we were isolated from anyone, so we didn't pass anything on, but it was also like just a really pleasant place if you were going to be sick. Like it was nice and quiet, it was relaxing, it felt good. But because I had so few things really to mark this week, I went ahead and I put in my date covers a little bit differently. I had raised them up a little bit so there wasn't so much extra room at the top. And then I just did my headers a little bit higher. So it was fine. It's just they're pressed right up against the date covers, and it's fine because these date covers are bigger anyway. And then I did something that I have not done in years. And I won't say color blocked because I definitely didn't color block, but I did like my pink headers all across the top, my gold headers all across the boxes, and then my green headers all around the bottom of the boxes. And I know 2 weeks in a row of straight across, but sometimes when I don't have a ton to mark, like that's my favorite way to plan. And I will confirm that the next week in my planner, which again I have already planned for, so that is actually already up on my channel, and I can probably link that as well. That also went straight across. So my next plan with me that you will see after this one is going to be a scatter, I can assure you. So right now I am just laying down the full boxes right across. The only thing that I had an issue with was the fact that I had to bring in a planner girl. This kit did not have an extra box that was not a planner girl. I was a little frustrated about it, but that's okay. I just used the one that I thought was the prettiest and went with that. Also in front of the cabin, like cute jacket, cute hat. I'm here for it. It's fine. So I ended up not using that fourth set of headers, obviously, during the headers for the kit, but then I did end up pulling all of them in as like just placeholders for places I didn't have a lot to mark in a day, and I thought it worked really well. I'm actually really happy with the way that it turned out, and honestly, if I look at it the whole picture now, like I think that this turned out really, really nicely, and I'm really happy. I still haven't filled in my sidebar. I had a really hard time filling it in because there was so much to mark that I needed to mark that I have marked in my memory planner when it came to prescriptions and everything. I will say this is another kit that came with a lot of mini icons, and I worked very, 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 very hard to make sure that I brought as many of those into the kit as possible. And I'm just looking back at it now. I used about half of them. I'm actually not mad about it. I think that turned out really super well. Very thrilled. So as you can see, I use the silver glitter headers as dividers in the sidebar because I was trying to take up space. And then I did use a patterned full box, or a half box rather, at the bottom just to take up space. I'm not marking anything in that. I will say the bottom washi here is like quite a bit thicker than my bottom. So I brought it right down to the bottom of the page, and it still came up over my bottom of my day-by-day boxes. That was the only issue that I had with this kit. Otherwise, I think it turned out beautifully, and I'm really excited, and I'm excited to get into the day-by-day plans because I thought this just turned out beautifully, and as always, I just marked in my hockey stickers, and this was, I think, 5 pages altogether, or 4 pages. Must have been 5. Anyway, I ended up with 2, which makes me, again, really, really happy because I like reducing down the amount that I have to go through. And for anyone asking, oh, it's so wasteful, I would never, ever, ever use the 4 full boxes with the girls. Like, I just don't like them enough in my planner. And no shame to those people who do. It's just creepy to have them stare back at me. And I think the thing is, when you're talking about like icons and little character stickers, they're just not the same. They're not the same enough. I don't use the like real ones that look like humans. So the first thing that I marked with the Coffee Monsters Co. icon was that we were on day 4 of antibiotics for my kiddo. And if you had watched my last plan with me, you'll know that he ended up having to get a different set of antibiotics from the first one because the first ones were too strong for his little system, and they just made him really, really violently ill. And then I don't know what happened here. I thought I pulled enough stickers. I obviously didn't, and I ended up like having to reposition quite a bit here. I don't know. Oh, excuse me, I'm so sorry. I have to stop filming these like late at night. But yeah, so I was just like, what is going on here? I definitely have more than this planned in my day. So then I noted that my kiddo was still extremely sick. Like, he was not having a good time. And he went really, really early for a nap. He normally goes like 12:30, or he did. We're getting rid of naps. But he normally went at 12:30, and he was asleep by 10. And then I used the sampler from one of the PR girls for the Prairie Planner, Melissa, and she is planning north of 60. If you want to check her out, I believe she's still one of the PR girls, and I think it's 15 or 20% off. To note that we tried to skate with my kiddo because we thought he was doing better. He was definitely not doing better. It was a mistake. It did not go well. And then I FaceTimed my mom and dad, and I used another set of the trees from that sampler. We had played outdoors that afternoon, so I thought that was nice. And trying to use up like those winter samplers that I have, because again, I'll keep them and I will add them into my leftover sticker albums, but like I would rather start using especially that kind of very specific item. So then I used a custom from Teddy Plans Co. to note on Tuesday that my husband took my kiddo to town. I forget what they had to get, like some food item, but it was a good outing. And then I used one of my bigger, because it was my last one on the sheet, Paper and Milk Maru. There was lots of napping. I napped, my baby napped, Owen napped, everyone napped. And then I used more of the sampler just to note that finally on day 5 of these antibiotics, my kiddo was finally starting to get better. Still incredibly low energy, but he was starting to get better. And then a Coffee Monsters Co. reading icon. We spent the afternoon reading with the boys, and then I used the bed from the kit. We had all of us that night had gone to bed very, very early. I didn't even finish the hockey game. On Wednesday, there was a cleaning icon in the kit, so obviously I did that to general clean the cabin before we left. There was a cleaning person coming in after we left, but I wanted to tidy up for the cleaning person because I am who I am as a person. I'm my mother's daughter. And then I used a 3-heart checklist. I changed 2 sets of sheets, I packed, and then I did Mount Washmore. We had so much laundry between the 4 of us. And I ended up using the laundry from the kit as well as a little bed, Coffee Monsters Co. emoji. And then we drove home. Again, another icon from the kit. I love this. And again, with the Coffee Monsters Co. prescription, to note that we had to pick up a new prescription because my kiddo ended up having pink eye as a result of the infection, of his ear infections, which apparently is super common. Who would have thought? I used a Fox and Cactus pizza loving unicorn to show that we had picked up pizza, which thankfully was always our plan. And then another Coffee Monsters Co. emoji. Just my kiddo and I, like my older kiddo and I played together, and we had like separate scheduled playtime together because I'm trying to find a balance between 2 kids. People will tell you it's the hardest part, and it is the hardest part. And one of the reasons that I mark it is because I forget. I'm not the greatest at that, but we always play together. We're always playing together, the 3 of us. It's just, I have to make an effort to make this special time for the 2 of us. So that was the first half of the week, and I'm really, really happy with how it turned out. The second half of the week, there was a lot of trying to figure out my spacing. So you'll see, particularly on Friday, was a really tough day. But it is a good thing that we came down from the cabin when we did, because there was an incredibly intense snowstorm that evening into the next day. And then I had to shovel. And then my kiddo, who never asked to play upstairs, decided to play upstairs that day. And I was like, sure thing. So we went upstairs to play. And all 3 of those icons are the Coffee Monsters Co. I used the camera from the kit to note that I filmed, and then I had done a ton of filming that day. Both of the boys had gone down for a nap, and I was like, let's film. And I filmed that evening as well. So I used the rest of that checklist, and I did a pre-plan. I filmed my pre-plan with me for the next week in March, my haul video, and then my March kit lineup. And then I was trying to figure out how to mark this. I didn't have too much to mark in the evening, and I pulled in a half box and a bathtub from the kit to mark that I had an everything shower. Oh man, if you don't know what an everything shower is, let me educate you. An everything shower is when you do your shaving, when you do your deep conditioning, when you do your lotioning, when you do your hair wash and your hair mask and everything. So I don't think I had like a true proper everything shower in one go for a while, and so that was really, really lovely. I used the alarm clock icon, and we had slept in until 7 a.m. on Friday morning. It was gorgeous. And then you'll see me fiddle around everything in this day. So what ended up happening was I made a Coffee Monsters Co. order, and then I edited, uploaded, and scheduled, what did I do on the Friday? The pre-plan with me. And I had to fiddle around with my spacing. I really didn't have too much to mark, just the 4 things. So I ended up moving the edit my plan with me and moved it down to the bottom. And then I just used the divider from the kit to show like it was, I didn't do anything. I was just with the boys. And then the final thing that I noted was I deep cleaned my upstairs bathroom, and that took quite some time. And then I used another divider there again because it was a heavy day on the stuff that I did, but there wasn't that much stuff to mark. The next day I used a Coffee Monsters Co. emoji to note that my kid tantrumed all morning. It was not a good time. We were not happy in the household, and I used a Prairie Planner fill feeder bird just to note that I had gone outside quickly to fill my bird feeder. I should mark that more than I do. Like I fill it a lot. My birds are guzzle guts. They eat a lot. But this was just something I wanted to mark that day. I think it was just a moment of me getting out of the house. And then, you guys know I don't love doing the dishes. My husband is a beautiful human being, and he does most of the dishes, so I emptied the dishwasher. And I used my new icon from Sweetie Sticker Co. And then I had to shovel again because the snow just decided that it didn't want to arrive until February of this year. And another Coffee Monsters co-emoji to note that while we were shoveling, my kiddo and I had been outside and he forgot to tell me he needs to use the potty. 2.5, it happens. And so we just did that. I put a looked after myself sticker just to show it's okay to not be okay. It was a really hard day. And I used a laundry icon, and honestly, I was just too lazy to bring in my extenders, and I didn't really have that much to mark. So I used a Simply the Mess icon of just like takeout boxes to note that we ordered in for dinner. Tough week for food consumption in our house. The next day, I used another Coffee Monsters emoji to show that my kiddo, well, my baby was up all night. I used another icon from the kit to note that I edited, uploaded, and scheduled my March kit lineup. And then the shoe, I visited and walked with my dad, which was a really, really lovely time. And then planning with Bex, my friend, she came over for dinner that evening and we ordered sushi, which was so nice. And then one of the reasons my kid was up all night was because he ended up catching a cold, so he was quite sick. And here I am just I ended up consolidating everything, showing what I sent away, and then I come back to show you the completed spread. And honestly, I loved it. I loved every last second of it. I think it turned out so well. It just is really pretty. I hope you enjoyed it.